Welcome everybody to Wednesday on Bitcoin Live. Today with me in the show is representative of Stellargate. Is it the team or is it just you? Welcome to the show.
Hello. Yes, we're a team, definitely. But I think I'm the one that is doing a lot of stuff here. So, yeah, maybe mainly me, I suppose.
So you're the lead tech. Can I ask you then how big is the team? Are
We
there?
are approximately like nine, I would say. Is
Oh,
because we are in our website, but right now we have like a lot of mods, but we're restructuring actually, um, because we had a two developers with us that were junior level, but I think we need a senior level because of the things that we're starting to do now. So I think with this new year, we might be looking at different people coming over and restructuring the whole moderator also structure. So it's gonna be fun.
yeah, that sounds really cool. So that's a pretty big team. The game looks really cool. That's why we're here. But before we jump into the game, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you sort of got involved with crypto and why you
Yes,
ended up doing this game?
awesome. Yeah. So about myself, actually, my background is like completely off. I would say from crypto. Actually, most of my life I've been centered around academia. So I've been doing a lot of sciences. I really love mathematics, chemistry. I hated at the beginning, but then I loved it. Physics, you name it. For a period of time, I was actually a tutor too. So I tutored many different subjects, and it was fun. So that was a lot of fun. But my entire thing has always been around academia. I've been in university for quite a long time, and then I think it was in the year 2021. I think or 20, yeah, 20 early, late 2021, early 2022, or no, it was early 2021. Yeah. So I actually came across this token called Mana,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, because you know. If we talk about crypto in general, I actually did know about crypto back in 2011, in 2011, and I was going to purchase 500 Bitcoin. I always say this because,
Oh,
yeah, I was going to purchase 500 Bitcoin because I remember it was like near a dollar. But it's kind of funny because in my head I was thinking, oh, I buy Bitcoin, then I can buy a car. But it wasn't that way because $500 was 500 Bitcoin, so it was just $500. So I was like, why will I buy Bitcoin? And then I just didn't do it. And then I obviously regret it now because it would be 500 Bitcoin. But yeah.
well, if you bought 500 Bitcoin, you would probably own a sort of like a gaming industry giant.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. I could have done so much with 500 Bitcoin, but it is what it is. So, fast forward, I did know about crypto, but then I got very interested into it because of Mana, not necessarily because of Bitcoin, but because of Mana, because I was looking around and then I was thinking, oh, this is kind of like a cool name, like, just what is it about? And then I realized that it was about the Central Land. So I actually got started with the Central Land in the home realm of crypto. We used to do like events for artists, musicians in the Central Land. It was a lot of fun. I met other people, in a decentralized fashion that were pretty awesome, and that's how we got to do a lot of stuff on the whole crypto for about a year. And we work with Polygon, we work with obviously with the Decentraland on like Ethereum chain, and then we just said, hey, we found out about Phantasma, and so we switch over to Phantasma because it's pretty fast when it comes to games. I saw it and I was like, wow, this thing is really fast. So we switched to that because also Decentraland, it's really cool and it's a very good idea. But for doing a game like this one, we did some pretty cool stuff in Decentraland, but just the sheer amount, the size of this project just wasn't going to be able to fit in this year.
Wow. Yeah, and I know PhantasmaChain, of course. We had Doktor Funk on. That's actually how, I got in contact with you, of course, through that interview, where he mentioned Stellargate, and he was very enthusiastic about it. He also mentioned some other games. So for the people who are interested, watch that interview. We'll link it down below. But this one is about Stellargate. So here it is, Stellargate. just jump through the gate, it says. What is this game about?
Yes, so this game is actually from a dream I had like a long time ago. I think it was like maybe 13 years. I think it was maybe like in 2008, 2009, maybe, when I had a dream. It was a recurrent dream. So I think I think it was like two or three times maybe that I had this same dream happen. And so basically, uh, the most intense part of the dream was when we are in this like corridor inside of a massive, I think it was a carrier because it was just really big, and we were just being like wrecked by aliens basically. And we have I remember seeing like robots and us humans. Obviously we have like some people with cybernetics, and different types of destroying the enemy, just like completely going everywhere. And it was just too much. We just couldn't really repel the attack on the ship, and so we started going towards this massive. We had like a massive city inside of the ship, and we were retreating back because we couldn't do it. I remember when it was like really bad, we started retreating, and there was this like a type of like angels. We call it like angels because they are actually like big machines that the back of them, they threw kind of these particles that look like wings, and they move really fast. Like
So
they
like
were
Evangelion?
kind of like a mecha, if I would say so. But it was more like cultist in a sense because it had like engravings on it. I remember, uh, and so yeah, they were just like really fast, and they helped us to retreat. I remember seeing like the people like fixing different things like turrets, sealing gates as we were like retreating.
So
But
do
it
you
was
think
just,
this dream was sort of just, the inspiration for the game, or do you think this dream also had a deeper meaning to you? Um,
I don't know, because I'll be honest with you, I dream some crazy stuff. There's only two dreams ever in my lifetime, and one of them is older than this one actually. When I remember dreaming about that one when I was like 9, but I always had a recursive dream for that one too, and I even made a land. How do you call this? Like it was during my drawing era when I loved to draw stuff, and I even draw like a territory for it. So it's only like the two massive dreams that I had. Uh, One of them is about like some sort of medieval, like I'm in another place or something, and then this one, which is like where we're in the future. I don't know, because now the aliens are coming out. I will tell you one thing: the aliens in my dream, they didn't care about us. So I'm not sure, obviously, if the aliens that we're gonna meet are gonna be that way in the future, or like if there's some sort of premonition about like what's gonna happen. But I do remember that sense of like, hey, we really need to like stop fighting each other. Like we seriously need to like get these guys out of here. But we were unable. I felt a frustration. It was impossible. Like we, for like every little one of them that we killed, like so many of us just like keep on dying. I remember seeing like these drones that dual road. They will like rotate on the ground, like they were like rolling around,
yeah.
and they will speed up towards the targets and like explode. Like they were killing themselves just for us to like sometimes I think about AI, and I'm thinking, dang, like I don't think the AI might be like our enemy, to be honest. I think we have something more stronger than that. But yeah, that's what I got from that dream at least. It's crazy.
So you also follow sort of the alien news, the alien developments, David Grush, and all that kind of stuff.
I think with all the alien stuff that is happening now, I'm thinking, Jesus, maybe my dream was about this. Like maybe because I had this like a long time ago, maybe this is like a way of me saying, hey, it would be nice to have this game so that we can start, having this kind of preparedness where like we really gotta unite because this might happen in the future. But like, yeah, I think it might be. I don't know. I mean, it's it's a pretty substantial big dream, to put it that way. So who
Yeah,
knows?
and it's inspired a really big game, and yeah, perhaps scenarios for the future that we can sort of practice on.
Yes,
Let's hope not, but
let's hope not.
so and for the people who are interested in this kind of stuff, we also do a show, the bigger picture, where we sort of talk about the alien stuff and how it's connected to Bitcoin. just for fun, just for fun. But
Oh snap!
yeah, 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 yeah. So if you want to come on that show, you're welcome to. We can sort of go into that stuff. But
Awesome.
this is about the game. Tell me about, you know. I love RTS, so it's a real-time strategy game, but it's also a first-person shooter game. And one of my dreams, and it's probably yours too, was always to combine the two, like that you have like a general who can sort of steer all these units, but then you also have people who on the ground who can actually jump into those units and sort of play around with them on ground level. I'm not sure if that's the game, but if it is, it's really awesome.
Yeah, actually, that's what I plan to do. You know, it's it's very difficult when I enter into making the game. You know, at the beginning I was like, oh yeah, I can do all of this, and I was like, wait, hold up, like I really need like a lot of time, and but yeah, in a sense, what I would like to replicate, at least you know from that dream, because I one thing I didn't discuss is the Stellar Gate. So that's actually something that is not too much per se from my dream, but it's something that I kind of imagined, where I do think that the reason this happened is because of the creation of a stellar gate, and so we had the aliens come through that. So in this era, we're looking at a Mars getting wrecked, like that planet is pretty much gone at this point, and we have all of our resources trying to repel the attack from the stellar gate, which is around that orbit of Mars. But in a sense, what I'm trying to do here is where we have the FPS and RTS combined, like you said, where ideally, I think I do see a possibility with crypto where we can have these two united, where it will make sense. Because usually, I mean, I was part of a support fleet, and let me just mute this 1 second because I'm getting like messages. I get messages like all the time. Um, yeah, I was part of the support fleet on EVE Online. I was part of the Northern Coalition. So if anybody's from Northern Coalition, yeah, I miss those guys. But EVE Online was pretty cool in the sense where we had this like giant fleet and we were attacking different places around the systems, and you know that was pretty much someone telling us like, hey, we have this structure command, this support fleet go here, this bomber fleet go here, capital ships go here, and we will form and go together and do these kind of things, right, in a structured manner.
Is that a
So
little bit like Homeland? I also played Homeland, where you sort of have these fleets in sort of 3D space where you can command these units.
I don't know if the one that I know about, I don't know if I'm getting confused, but I know Homeworld
Oh,
something
Homeworld.
oh,
Yeah, maybe it
Homeworld.
was Homeworld. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, look, the thing is the following. Uh, I don't know if they changed it now, but back then there was no interface for a commander to do so. We just went on TeamSpeak and we just kind of had to how do you say this? Uh, Kind of check with everybody where everybody was at, and I'm assuming the FCs, which is the fleet commander, will kind of like take annotate, you know, start writing things and where the fleets are at. But there was no such thing as some sort of interface that will help us. So that's something that I do want in this game, is where we have an interface that will help those strategists to kind of deploy troops and allow them to put them in different places. Now, in this game, we're only doing the solar system, and I only want to focus on the solar system because obviously they are wrecking us here in the solar system. So if there's a possibility to something bigger than that, where maybe we can explore wormholes and people can explore, I mean, it can be a possibility. But as of right now, we're solely focused on the solar system. And ideally, what will happen, for example, is uh, let's say we have two clans, for example, just to name clans because we do want to have clans.
Yeah.
Let's say one clan really wants resources so that they can sell it to the main government on the solar system, and it's a lot of money that they can get. So they want to invade this other clan's territory. Let's say going from, I don't know, Saturn to Neptune. And so what will happen is that you will have an strategies, and the strategist kind of like sending over like reconnaissance to kind of prepare everybody to go on to the war. Maybe the other clan has some sort of interceptor fleet. So as they approach, you now suddenly come into this scene where there's an intercept battle between ships. Once you arrive on the planet, you will have your defense, your clan structures, like your buildings. You will have built all of that. Um, Again, if you're in the strategist, you're obviously not going to land on the top of the clan base because it wouldn't make sense. You're going to lose a lot of your transport ships. So, as a strategist, you will probably do that in an area where you think is reasonable to do it. You will deploy the vehicles. So basically, the way that I want to do it is it's on you. If you mess up, it's your fault. So, you got to really think how you're going to deploy all your assets and be mindful that people are going to be playing. Some people obviously can't play for like 24 hours, so you're going to have to like schedule all of that, how that's going to work. But another thing too is that I mentioned in my dream, we had a lot of support from the AI, uh, where we had robots that will assist us. So you're gonna be able to command robot units. And I think now with the whole AI thing that happened, is even I see it comes at a perfect time for me, to be honest, because it's something that we wanted to do. Uh, back, I guess I didn't also say this, but I was part of a clan about, I think, 12 years ago or 11 years ago, and I mentioned this game also to them, and they really liked it. So one of the things that we were discussing is how we can deploy stuff, and are we going to build stuff? And the answer, it has to be yes, because otherwise uh, you don't have control of like how to defend your territory. So all of this is basically what we're looking at. Obviously, logistics very important. You cannot just attack and not expect some sort of resupply mission where you need to supply your troops. And once you conquer it, obviously it's yours, your territory. You can do whatever you want with it. Um, uh, and then we have obviously the alien menace, which is going to be pretty intense too. So I think in that regards, what will approach is that if you are near Mars, you better be careful because there's like an ongoing war. If you're outside of Mars, then yeah, you're free, basically like almost a free for all, except on secure spaces.
So you sort of mentioned assets, and the whole thing with crypto, and the recent bridge that you built, and Phantasma chains and these smart NFTs, is sort of that you can play around with these assets as real assets, right? So I was sort of curious, and you also mentioned like the battle zone is Mars, but outside of Mars, it's a little bit more easygoing. So, is there also trade in your world, and how does crypto assets, NFTs, how does that all fit in? And can you also talk a little bit about the bridge that recently launched today?
Yeah, yeah. So actually, no, just wanted to say we have finished the bridge today. So like meaning like we actually like we're just polishing just a tiny bit more, and then we're sending it for auditing. So once it's gone through audit, and then we can launch it. But yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, it's been months that we worked on the bridge, and it's finally working. So it's very fun, and it's between Binance to Phantasma, but we do
Ah,
plan to expand to Binance Scale. That's the second part of what we call the bridge system. Um, but how assets will work is that we want to allow people to kind of own their own stuff. Like, for example, the way that I envision it, and this obviously might change because everything that I talk can change as we approach to actually do those things, because there's major things that could change due to how the technology works. But one way that we're exploring how to do this is, for example, let's say you own a ship in, I don't know, on Venus. Okay, so you have a ship on Venus and you want to sell it. So you can package it. It becomes now an NFT, and you have to put it in a place where trading, of course. So you once you have it in some sort of warehouse and in a marketplace, in game, and it's packaged, you can now sell it. Right? It can be sold. Generate like an NFT, sell it on the market, and then somebody else can buy it. But not because they buy it, it means that they instantly transfers to that person's area. They will still have to transfer it. So it's like a mix where you have your assets on the blockchain, but you still need to do the physical stuff in the virtual world. So that's the way that we want to do it, and this has to be balanced because there has been some people that have been saying like we should do every single ammunition, and I'm like, That's gonna cost a lot of gas. So I don't think we can do every single ammo fire. No, we're gonna have to do a way where it makes sense, where it's fun to, because we want to make sure that the people that are working with these assets, they have fun. That's the reason why we also develop our three token economy. Uh, it's more free market in a sense that way too, where we don't want to really meddle. I think people can come up with really nice solutions for economy as well. That took a long time to do the economy. Um, so I think the way that we're approaching it is going to be a lot of fun, and it will also help people to transition, because we're working. So the bridge that we just finished today basically is going to be using a token called CIT, which will allow people to transfer value from one chain to another. Then the second token is RA, which is the one that will help to create the third token, which is TAS. Why did we do it this way? Is because we don't want to really meddle too much with Ra. Ra has its purpose, and it's basically to withhold power. And then you have TAS, which can be manipulated. You can do more stuff with it. There's no such a stronger feel of, oh my god, I don't. If I mess up with this, like it's over. So because we want to make sure that we're more dynamic, because this is a game and things change. So with TAS, we plan to pay for the gas fee, so the people won't have to pay for gas fees as long as you use TAS. Obviously, it's still a work in progress. I don't want to say things that you know might be wrong, but that's what we're trying to aim for. So that will help Web2 players, because let's say you're playing the game and you don't know anything about crypto, you just want to play the game, you can play, so right, you can exchange, you can use the TAS as an economy, and everything will be fine. You won't even have to, let's say, pay, open up a wallet to pay. Everything will be done on the
Okay.
backside. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you do want to bring it to crypto, you can, and that's where RA comes in. You can do an exchange, and then you now become part of crypto. So I think that's a natural kind of nicer way of doing things.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah, you don't want to make it too realistic, right? That you have to pay for every little ammo that you shoot. That will
oh
bankrupt many players.
yeah, no, no, yeah, definitely not. I mean, the way that we're looking at how we're progressing with the game, because it's a learning experience, to be honest.
Yeah.
I feel like we could have a big budget, right? Like the biggest one we could ever have, and go with everything, and we could still probably fail, because I don't think I've seen anybody kind of pull off that integration between crypto and gaming. It's really hard. It's
Yeah.
not easy. So I think the way that we're approaching it is that we're going by modules. So the first module that we're working with is the combat module. So we just released we just finished the bridge. So now that helps us, along with the tokens that we also just released, to kind of start seeing how this affects our gameplay. Because we already had some sort of tank gameplay, but we're now working. As soon as we send this bridge over to be audited, we're going to be working on the combat module again. We are reworking the land. We're making it bigger because it was a little bit small. So we're looking at a bigger crater, because the first combat zone is going to be in Mars crater Victoria,
Ah,
uh, which is pretty cool, because we've used actually NASA data
wow.
to recreate it. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It took a long time, but it's pretty nice. And it was a high learning curve, because we have to learn all the tools, like what is this for, how do we do this, blah blah. But I think we've now learned it to the point where we can actually use it, and it looks pretty cool. So yeah, we are expanding that. From one the first one that we put, it was like a little square, and now we have four of those little squares, so it's bigger. We're testing also night to day mechanics, which I think is going to be fine. It's going to be super cool. And then another thing that we're putting in there is the first iteration of the artillery. So, like I said, combat module comes now. Sub module is the first one, armored vehicles. Then we go with artillery. Then we go with infantry. All of that right now, single player, because we want to test how everything's going to go and how it's going to work with crypto, etc. As soon as we understand how this works, then we start to see how to implement it into multiplayer, because we don't want to have cheaters. That's one of the big issue, is that if we go ahead and release multiplayer, we mess something up, we might do more harm than good. So we want to first test that single player with some sort of server mandated architecture. Uh, but as soon as we finish combat, we go into mining module, then we go into mineral processing, then into manufacturing, and then we go into logistics. We revisit everything again. We start to combine it more, and then we go forward towards the next step, and which is going to be strategy, and we keep on working onwards from that. We have other ideas like farming. Like I think it's kind of nice creating your food and all of this. We don't want to make it into full blown simulator, but we want to
Yeah.
make it where multiple things do make sense to have things around. Like for example, one way that we envision, like as you go into doing mining, is to have like canisters. What they mean by canisters, like oxygen canisters, because you can't really be on space for an indefinite amount of time. You need oxygen. So how can you gonna get this oxygen? Well, the farms, right? The farms might help
Yeah.
you to get that oxygen. So it's like a symbiotic relationship, right? Where maybe you can sell your CO2 canisters so they can grow their food and they give you oxygen. So there's ideas floating around.
Sort of like the terraforming that goes on, and that also kind of reminds me of. I'm like old school. You can probably know my age by the games that I mentioned. But Utopia was like a very old game. Like the graphics were awful, but it was a lot of fun. It was sort of I think it was on Mars, but I'm not sure. Yeah,
Oh,
this sort of terraforming modules, and you could, it's like sort of like SimCity, only on Mars and with enemies. That's sort
oh,
of
that's pretty cool. Oh no, I didn't know about it. I'm gonna have to look it up. Yeah, but I think that's a pretty good idea of more or less where we're going with, right? Where you build your stuff, you build your farms. You want to have a farm, why not build it? Like you want to build some sort of like extractor thingy, you can do it. So that's the thing that will be, I think, really cool in this sense, and it will impact the entire ecosystem, because you have people that are going to be fighting, trying to get those territories, and you still have, don't forget the aliens, because it's going to be a mess, a beautiful mess.
that sounds cool. And so it's like a work in progress. And you sort of mentioned why you sort of chose PhantasmaChains, because it's much faster, cheaper, more agile, probably for making games on. Um, and this bridge that you created is sort of to make it go live, basically, right? If I understand it correctly.
Yes, so we ideally want to be multi-chain, and we have something that we're thinking of that might be really cool, and this bridge actually helps, because it's the first step that helps us to kind of understand how we can make this multi-chain. So we have learned quite a lot with this bridge, and I'm pretty sure there is even more than we can learn. Uh, you know, so how we want to approach this is that if you have an asset on Phantasma and you want to bring it into another chain, you can do so, right? That's ideally what we want to do. If you have, let's say, an asset on BSC and it's actually faster or cheaper to trade it on Phantasma, if you want to, you can have it there. Or if you want to bring it to Ethereum, is gonna be one of those where like it's gonna be pretty intense. But if you want to bring it to Ethereum, we do want to give you that ability. Why not? So
Yeah.
basically, if you want to bring stuff to the chain of your choice, we want you to be able to do so. That's obviously for the more crypto savvy people. You know, uh, like I said, we're thinking of how to do this. The bridge has helped us a lot. Just to talk a little bit about the bridge, for example, you have like one token in Phantasma. You can bring that same token over to BSC, and from BSC to Phantasma, and that it's been quite a challenge, but it works. And so with that, how we have learned with this bridge, we can. I don't think we can fully apply it to the smart NFTs from Phantasma, uh, but we can definitely do something, and we're going to have to do a specific architecture so that we can bring those NFTs over, so that it makes sense that we can do so and not lose properties of the NFT. So that's going to be obviously like version 3 or 4.0 of the bridge, where we can bring those NFTs over. But yeah, we it has helped us to learn quite a lot.
Yeah, it is super cool, and it's really an achievement. And one of the things that I also like about the whole NFT crypto gaming revolution is that you are going towards sort of this customizable area where you can sort of customize your equipment and your tanks and your basically anything, right? And you can transport it from one game to another, like you say. Um, so is that also your dream, where you want to take it?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think we want to approach this where I'm a person who really likes logistics. Like when I think it comes from StarCraft and Age of Empires, because I always Age of Empires 2 was actually really cool. I really liked it
Yeah.
because you get to focus on different aspects, whether it be technology. You know, you use the cards and you can exchange it for something else. I think if we look at Stellargate, when I look into how things are moving, I look at I focused a lot on resources. So if it means that if I have a good solid infrastructure, a good solid like how am I gonna move the resources? Am I gonna get a lot? It's the same thing that I want to play with Stellargate. So if I have some stuff on Phantasma and I want to bring it somewhere else, I want to be able to do it, right? I feel like everybody wants to do that. Why not? Now, there is a whole dilemma that goes around with, is it unique? I think, that is going to be a challenge also, because I know people may not understand how crypto works in the background, and I didn't even know about it until I started working on Stellargate. But uh, it's very difficult to have that same thing going over to another chain. So more than likely, what will happen is that we're gonna have like a copy of it be
Mhm.
sent to another chain, but it's gonna have the same attributes. It's the best way to do it. I'm not aware of any other way to do it, but that's the way that we plan to do it. That's the way that we're doing with the tokens, and it's a token here, an NFT here, an NFT there, same attributes, but going to different chains. So that's the way that we want to do it, and it will still be. Let's say, for example, you name your NFT like I don't know, like what is this? Like Victory. Okay, you have shit called Victory. So ideally, we want to bring that same attributes with everything on it, image, everything, bring it from one place to another. So it's still Victory, right? It's still your ship, and it still belongs to you until you sell it, right? So um, it's challenging, but that's what we want to do.
So that's also sort of my next question. When you sort of look into the future, like let's say 5 years from now, and you sort of keep following your dream and you keep building these games, where do you see the ecosystem by then, and where do you see yourself and the game
Well,
system?
um, we're tackling, and that's the reason why we're going multi-chain, because I think uh, it helps us to survive whatever happens in crypto, because crypto is always evolving. There's like new stuff every single day. So I think by adopting that mentality, then we can allow for the game to survive, and to also tackle the whole area of ownership, right, where you can bring stuff from one place to another. So I do see myself here in 5 years still working here, because I really like it. I've been here already for about 2 years, and I just really like it. Like it's fun. Like it's not. It doesn't even feel like a job. Like you're gonna see me most of the time. Like I'm always there on Discord and Telegram, and I'm just like working. But it doesn't feel like work. It's fun. I really I don't know how to. I don't know if people will believe me, but I truly do, truly, fully enjoy it, and especially when something works, like the bridge, that has taken, I think, like 4 or 5 months, more than that, with even the help of my team, because being wonderful. They tackle some things uh, that have been like there's almost no information about it. There's no info,
Yeah.
so we have had to kind of discover here how to do certain things, and then we build upon that, we build upon that, we build upon that, and now we have a working bridge. Same thing with the tokens. We have learned a lot, uh, and I like to see that it's things that you can see. So now apply those to the game, even better, because now you can see how that works in the game, how you even, like, for example, even the whole game itself. Mind you, remember, my uh, background comes from science and technology, not so much from game development, but I played a lot of games. So I
Yeah.
played a bunch of games, and I do know some coding, uh, because I used to do a lot of robots.
Cool.
And I was, yeah, I competed like in some NASA competitions too, and it was a lot of fun. So I do remember some structure of coding, so that's a lot of fun. So I'm applying those kind of same concepts here, where I learned how to more or less structure things. And I just think that, it's a place for me where I'm having fun, and I'm building from a dream that it's pretty cool, that I know some other people are gonna enjoy. I've played many different games, and I always felt like I'm missing something, and so I'm pretty sure that my comrades also have felt that too, and that's the same thing that I want to apply to Stargate. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I think one of the nice things about crypto and the ecosystem around it, it's sort of like these Lego blocks, I guess, but also the direct feedback that you get from your community, right? Because you're really plugged into your community, so you can try something out and you get direct feedback and you can improve upon it, and there's this lively interaction that you don't have anywhere else, I think.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. Actually, some of the stuff that we have implemented has been because we listen to the community. We have community members that have said, "Hey, don't do this. I think that's too much," or "Hey, why don't we get this?" Like, I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." Like, it's a work in progress, and I think the our community has been very receptive. They have been very supportive. They're very kind people, so it's been fun. PhantasmaChain have been very awesome people too, very
Yeah.
kind. I'm very happy that I've met the good side of crypto. So
Well, I think sort of the builders within crypto are, yeah, almost all good people. I mean, there's always, a bad apple, but I think it's more like the speculators that, there's more rotten apples in the speculator side than in the builder side, I think.
yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I'm blessed to have met like wonderful people thus far. So yeah,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah. Now, well, we mentioned a lot. We talked about many things. I think there's also a lot of other games. There's perhaps a shout out to, uh, you know, other games out there that are also being built on Phantasma chains that you want people to know about, or
oh yeah,
only.
I mean, like I mentioned, I'm very focused on Stargate, but I've heard that there's a game called Blood Room. I think I spoke maybe to the founder. I'm not sure. I don't want to say things that I don't know about, but I think that's one game that is being built on Phantasma. Then there is, I think, 22 uh, car series. Also, I think it's also Phantasma. Oh, there's Wonderman Nation that is very cartoonish. Just very, it looks very, very, very cute, kawaii. And there's, I think there's also another one, but I think my memory goes up to there. Like, it's just that I'm always just like focusing on coding. If you see me the entire day, like if you go into a day of like myself, you're gonna see me like I wake up, do breakfast, go read like 15 minutes of news, and then I'm coding. Like, that's it. I
Yeah,
just code all the way, and then I eat my lunch, and then I keep on coding again, and I go to sleep. And then I guess on the weekends, like I can have a little bit of fun, but I'm always thinking what to do, like how am I gonna do this and do that, and what are the people doing. So yeah.
yeah. People should just follow Phantasma chain. We'll also link it. I think it's in the title also. By the way, in the title I have Interstellar, so it should be stellar, not interstellar. Maybe
Oh
that's
no.
the future. But yeah, follow Phantasma Chain, follow Stellar Gateway or Stellar Gate, I should say. And is there anyone else they should follow? I guess you should also follow on Discord. Where is your community located? On Telegram or Discord or?
We are on both sides, with Discord and Telegram. More than likely, I'm mostly on Telegram. Discord, I also see it, you know, but usually because I work with everybody, it's usually mainly Telegram.
Yeah. We'll link those down below in the video on YouTube. And is there anything else that you want to highlight that we might have missed?
I'm thinking. Oh my gosh. No, I said pretty much everything. I'm just looking for. I want to see, because I've been working on the bridge for the past weeks. I just really want to get back on track for the game side. I really, 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 really want to see multiplayer going, and the
Yeah.
clan system. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
So maybe one final question is, the market is picking up. I think, everybody can see that within crypto. Is that like a positive for, for the game and for the people like you who are building games, or is that a negative? Or, how do you view that?
For like how the market is behaving, as in like a bull run, or
Yeah, yeah. For example, let's say we enter the bull run. Would you be happy about that? I mean, of course you would, but I mean, would you be distracted from building, or would that attract like the wrong crowd, or would that be like a positive and highlight the project, or how do
no?
you view that?
I don't think so. I think a bull run is positive because, like I said, we launched our token Ra. So Ra right now is on BSC and is paired with BNB. So if there's a bull run, obviously that's gonna go up. It does bring interest into the project as well. Just like when I looked at Mana, I didn't know what Mana was. I looked more into it and I found out it was a decentraland token. The same thing here. People might be interested into seeing what Ra is, and we might attract people that are not only interested in the token, but also interested in the game. So I think it's a nice combination if we think about it that way. But when we talk about game wise, that's the reason why we're working on something called a merchant office, and is supposed to allow people to, we're giving tools to people to do things with the whole economy, because we could say we want to fully regulate it like iron fist. I'm gonna change it so it works. But I think if we give tools to people, it might be better, because ideas, I think, will flourish more from the many community members, just as we have seen when they give their opinions. So I think if we give the tools to them, it might work better that way. So I guess there's one thing I didn't mention, but it's very big. There's so many things here. It's just a lot. But basically, what we're trying to do is that, we want to allow people to create their merchant offices. It's going to be a challenge, but we're trying. Where what will happen is that if, let's say you have friends that have Ra, and one of them has like 100 Ra. So you have a merchant office. So what will happen is that, uh, if depending with the mechanisms that we allow you to have as a merchant office, you could be giving to citizens who have like a score of like 700 or 800. If we talk about like United States,
Yeah,
what is the credit score? We have like your own credit score. Let's say
rich
you,
people.
what do you say? What do you say?
That I mean, sort of your game is placed in the future, so you're sort of looking into the future.
Yeah. So let's say you have like someone that has a credit score of like 700, right? And we're mimicking kind of real life, right? So ideally, what will happen is that you will want to request a loan. So we want for loans to happen. So, but here's the catch: unlike governments who can print up money from nothing, we want to make this where there is a trust. What do we mean? So if you have those friends who have like 100 Ra in total, and you convince them to pledge it into your merchant office, right? So because of the amount of Ra that it has been pledged to the merchant office, you are going to be able to create the tasks. And so that gives you the opportunity to provide loans. And so if you fulfill more loans, uh, the person who pledged the Ra is going to win. The merchant office is going to win. The government is going to win by a tax. And the person who requested the loan is also going to win. So everybody wins. So it's a system where we need this amount of RA so that this can happen. Otherwise, you cannot create tasks. You cannot. No matter how hard you try, you won't be able to. So task initially is going to be a supply of zero. Uh, so people are going to have to create their merchant offices. They're going to have to get people who own RA, or maybe they purchase RA themselves. Uh, Obviously, the more RA is pledged to a merchant office, the more it can provide. Um, and how the merchant office will survive depends on how it works with the tools that we give them. If it's able to give out a lot of loans to people that are fulfilled, then it works perfect because that means that they have a system that works, right?
Yeah.
You wanna pledge your RAT to a system that works because you're gonna get more in return in terms
Yeah.
of tasks and everybody else. So that's the way that we want to do it. And so like I mentioned, that's the reason why RA is kind of like a gateway, right? And
Yeah.
task kind of combines with that. So it's gonna be very challenging, but we do have good news, and I shared this actually in Discord about a month ago, I think. Um, the way that we want to purchase is that when you pledge RA, you're not sending your RA to a contract. Usually, when you interact with contracts that I'm aware of, okay, there might be some other people who approach this, but usually what you do is you send your RA to that contract or any other token, or if we're talking about liquidity pools, and they give you, for example, a liquidity pool token, right?
Yeah.
So, in what we're trying to do here is you're gonna pledge your RA, it will stay frozen in your wallet. Okay, you're not sending it to a contract. So
Ah,
it Yeah, and it works. It works because we already tested it. There's an image that is already in Discord, and so it stays in your wallet. But the intrinsic value, which is what I want to keep on doing, intrinsic value, because I don't want to mess around with RA. I don't want people to lose their RA. I don't want like
yeah.
suddenly
You sort of want to limit the attack factors.
Yes, yes. So the way that is going to work is with your RA, you can come to this merchant office, you interact with that contract with the merchant office to freeze the RA in your wallet. So your wallet's not going to move. We're going to record the amount of RA that you froze, and with that amount, you can do the pledges to like different things. So it's kind of nice because over you can freeze it for a duration, a period that I'm still thinking about. I developed some sort of plan where if you pledge it for 5 years, meaning that it's frozen your account for 5 years, you get like a really big amount because you're pledging for 5 years. But you can also pledge it for 1 month or 3 months, and then it unfreezes. You unfreeze your RA, and you can use it again, no problem. Or if you want to pledge it again, you can also do so. But that's the way that we want to do it, so that if like a hacker comes to the contract, they
Yeah.
they're not gonna get anything because it's frozen in your wallet. We can make another contract easily, dynamically. Pair it with RA, and you can go to that different contract and unfreeze your token, and no one's token has been lost. So that's what we want
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah, that's smart. That's good tokenomics. Yeah. So yeah, this sounds really good, and I hope you keep building and developing your game and maybe future games. And I hope your dream will come true, right? So that your dream that you visualize where we started this conversation, that it will become a reality, like everything that you dreamed of, that it will be in the game, exactly how you dreamt it. Uh,
Yeah,
that will be super cool, of course. And you're moving towards it, and crypto's developing, like you say. So who knows? But yeah, I want to congratulate you on the bridge and what you already achieved.
thank
And
you.
yeah, I hope we have you back in the future.
Thank you. Same. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, it's my pleasure. And for everybody watching, thank you for watching. We always do interviews like this and other interviews. We do lots of topics, like I said, also big picture where we talk UFOs, but also about Bitcoin, about economics, about anything really. So give us a follow, and I hope to see you soon. Take care.
Take care.